Tag isn't just for children. It can be played by middle-aged adults, too. That's a lesson I learned this week when I watched Tag, a comedy film by director Jeff Tomsic making his film directorial debut. Somewhat loosely based off an infamous Wall Street Journal article and the true story of a group of friends playing tag for 23 years, Tag's story is just that. It's a group of men who've been playing tag basically their entire life. While skimming through most of the events of the past, the movie brings us straight to the game in its modern day. It brings you a story about fun, friendship, and, well, tag. Tag takes an interesting take on the comedy genre, placing itself in a weird spot that honestly might not be for everyone. It's far from what you would expect to see in a modern-day comedy film, which typically focuses on swearing for jokes and just offensive, dirty humor. But there are more than enough adult themes in the movie that I'm not exactly sure I would call it a kids' movie either. All of that isn't to say the movie isn't funny. It's quite the opposite, in fact. The movie had a handful of laughs, and the bulk of the movie had me smiling ear to ear from whatever ridiculous scenario was being unfolded. For a comedy movie, I found it a little ironic that it was the jokes that I found to be the least enjoyable part of this film, but the titular tag sequences were interestingly shot, at times really elaborate, but most importantly, they were just fun to watch. Whether you read the true story of Tag before or after the movie, I was blown away to see how many of the scenes in the film were lifted from the real story. Even when there's something that you think, oh, this couldn't have happened, it probably did. Put that alongside the fact that the real people the movie is based off of all love it, and you have yourself a fairly true adaptation of a story. Something you really don't see much of anymore these days. I'm so used to seeing people outraged that facts were changed in order to tell a more Hollywood version of the story. Sure, some facts were changed, and some might have been a little cliche, but they were things you could easily look past and enjoy the movie. Also, stick around for the credits as it shows clips from the real story, and they're great to watch, and you'll see a lot of scenes that they used for the movie. While I can recognize this movie might not be for everyone, with comedy being so subjective and all that, I think as long as you're not completely locked off into one form of comedy, there is enough of a taste of a few different subgenres that there's enough for everyone to enjoy it.